One of the most notable residents of Boston Edison is Berry Gordy Jr., the man who created Motown. His former home is 10,000 square feet and has 10 bedrooms, 7 dining areas, a private gym, a bowling alley, and pretty much every single feature you can imagine. His great niece, Robin Terry, now runs the Motown Museum and has very fond memories inside that house.
918 West Boston. That house has played an important role in our family. I grew up in and around that house, have very fond memories of hosting many of the Motown talent in that home. I had my Sweet 16 in that home. Like it's a property that has really wonderful history in our city and in Motown's history. It played a really special part.
Mr. Gordy lived in Boston Edison but ran Motown Records on West Grand Boulevard, which is now a museum.
So Motown Museum is this fantastic jewel that sits in the neighborhoods of Detroit. It is home to Hitsville, USA, which was Motown Records' first headquarters. So this is where Berry Gordy started his record business. It's where he attracted all of this really special talent throughout Detroit, streets and churches and high schools, and all of these very talented people came together under his direction to create a new sound of music called the Motown sound that has gone on more than 50 years later and is still impacting the world.
The Motown Museum opened in 1985 and gives interactive tours to thousands of visitors annually.
So when you come down the stairs of Studio A, it's always an interesting experience in this room because this is the one place we don't pipe in music in the museum. And it's because these walls talk, right? When you just stand quiet and you imagine Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross and the Supremes, the Temptations, Four Tops, Marvin Gaye, when you start thinking about all of the music that those great iconic artists created in this space, you just want to sit with it for a minute. So for that reason, we don't pipe music into this room. So when you come down the stairs, that's the first thing you notice. It's what the room says and doesn't say, right? The piano that you see in the room is the first thing that or the next thing that you'll notice. This was the piano that was actually a rehearsal piano for Motown artists and musicians that Sir Paul McCartney restored for us back in 2011. And then as if you gaze up into the window, you'll see the control room, and that's where all the sessions were ran. So whoever was producing that particular session, that's where they hung out, that's where the engineers hung out. So that was the window into what was going on in the studio.
To get the full Motown Museum experience, schedule your tour at MotownMuseum.com. You're watching a production of Comcast CN900, your home for local sports, news, and entertainment.